Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. You may have noticed that a couple of weeks ago, we had a number of the Take 5s were actually filmed in Northern Ireland, filmed up in the mountains of Mourne and in Belfast. Basically, what happened was this. We had had a week's holiday in County Kerry the week before, and I'd thought a week's holiday, you know what, it's been busy with the lockdown and reopening and getting the church decorated and all the stuff that's been going on with Evangelical Alliance. But I thought a week's holiday, I'll be back right as rain. I'm tired now, but it'll be grand. And I came back and I was still exhausted. And sometimes we all need to be able to recognize that whenever we just need to take some rest. You know, God is not impressed by how busy we are. Sometimes he wants us to just take time aside and listen to him. God himself rested on the seventh day of creation, and we need to learn to rest as well. So Jana said to me, okay, we're going up north for a few days. And I have to say, just 3 or 4 days, and I came back and I was now right as rain. I was refreshed. I was raring to go again. But we were in Belfast and we went to the Titanic Museum and the exhibition there, which I found absolutely fascinating. I mean, I know people all over the world find that fascinating, but I found it particularly fascinating because I grew up in East Belfast. In fact, the church where I gave my life to Jesus was literally a stone's throw from sometimes I threw stones there, but it was just a stone's throw from the Harland and Wolff shipyard where the Titanic was designed and constructed. And when we were going around the museum, one thing that really struck me was it wasn't just about how the boat sank and all that, but it was all about how the boat was constructed and how it was made. And one part of the display showed the ropes and the cables that were used on those great White Star Line liners, including the Titanic. And they were constructed in what was at that time, I understand, the largest rope works in the world, which was in Belfast, in Connswater in East Belfast. And I remember as a child, I remember the rope works very well. And it was part of the scenery as I grew up. And one thing about those ropes is this: it doesn't matter whether you're talking a very small and thin rope like would hold a child's swing, or whether you're talking a massive cable that they used to tie up ocean liners with. Every rope, every cable was constructed by 3 strands wound together, 3 parts all plaited together as one. Never 2 strands, never 4 or 5 strands, but always 3. There's a reason for that, and this is actually a verse I use a lot when I'm conducting weddings. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 12. It's speaking about 2 being better than 1. Verses 9 to 11 are all about how 2 are better than 1. That's why I use this when I'm conducting weddings. And then verse 12 says, although 1 may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Now here's the amazing thing. The optimum number of strands in a cord of rope or cable to give it the maximum strength is 3. Because when you plait 3 strands together, they're all constantly in touch with one another. Now, if you try to do it with more, you might think, well, surely with 4, 5, 6 strands, that's going to be more, it's going to be stronger. But it's not, because they're no longer in constant contact with each other, and it's easy for strands to slip through. And so the maximum strength comes from 3 cords plaited and knitted together to give maximum strength and stability. And of course, the application I give to this when I'm conducting a wedding is that when you have a husband and a wife and they make God the center of their marriage as well and keep in constant contact with him, then that gives the maximum stability to a marriage. And listen, anyone married that's watching this, you can have that one for free. That's one of the greatest tips that I would ever give anybody when they're married, is to keep God at the center so that he is constantly in contact with the both of you. But it's also true of any other relationship. It's also true of any of a business. It could be a business partnership. It could be a friendship or whatever it is, that when you keep Christ at the center of it and keep in constant center with him, then you are in the place of maximum strength and you can resist that which would try to tear you apart. May that be an encouragement to you today. And please join us again on Monday for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.